सीरीज छोड़ के वापस हो जाता। वैसे जो लोग देख रहे होंगे ना और वो देखा था मेरे पे आर्डर वार मेरा मिसाइल वार्निंग दे रहा था। आप कह रहे लॉन्च ही नहीं है, लॉन्च ही नहीं है। कह रहा अरे है मिसाइल ढूंढो। क्या कौन सा वाला? चलो हाँ
Hey,
मोल्टा हेलो।
hey, Raven.
व्हाट्सअप बड़े। You were flying on the BF squadron, no?
Am I what?
You were flying on BF squadron, right? On Saturday, on Sunday.
Am I flying
I
on
mean,
Sunday?
yeah, on BF squadron, Blue Flag squadron.
Oh, nope. We're not.
No.
We weren't invited.
Okay.
I don't know
But you're
why.
from, but you are from 64th, right?
Yeah, 64th wasn't invited.
They should invited you.
Not a big deal. I got
Yeah.
enough going on.
Anyway, the server was very laggy, man, and it's
Are
very
you guys
laggy.
flying in it?
Yeah, we were flying in it, and the server was very buggy and laggy. Also, one of our guys went to space. Out of the he was in a Sukhoi
Yeah, a
33,
lot of
and
the guys the squadrons that they chose to fly in it don't have very localized pings, so it's really kind of bizarre to me.
you mean
Uh,
on location. You know
I think it's
XCOM,
I think it's
Malta?
Finland is where their server is. Yeah, I know XCOM.
Yeah, he's the host of the server. I know.
Oh, he's hosting it directly. He's not. It's not on the normal.
Yeah, he purchased a server somewhere.
Yeah, he's probably at the heli farp. I'm just gonna ignore him.
Yeah, Ali are kind of hard to hit.
I really don't like messing with the Mistrals because I don't get a kill for him anyway.
Yeah.
Nope, not for a Mistral. They're not even worth messing with.
Okay, Captain, pull up.
I usually just ignore that farp. Usually get high enough to fly over it or around it that I'm not gonna get intercepted even if something. Just because it's not worth dealing with Mistrals.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get a
I
kill for
once
him.
I once engaged the Mistral and I was just very high at the time. I mean, my speed was very high, and I got unstable while locking him and firing. So how's the settle going?
How's what?
You're in settle, right? I mean,
No, we're 64th isn't in Seytal. I mean, I run Seytal, but I'm not. I'm not flying this year. It's good. Gold League ended, or the main league ended, so the end of the year tournament starts in January, and then Diamond League's last league matches are this weekend, and then they're done for all of December, and then They come back in January for the end of the year tournament.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the home stretch. Then next year I'll probably do a BFM league and something called Domination for like bigger teams and stuff, and just some different things. And I'm going to change up the weapon balance, I think, and I'm debating on banning the F-15 from Seital. Especially with the more NATO aircraft getting TW. It's just FC3 needs to be removed at some point. It's too gamey. Especially the F-15. The F-15 with its instant IF, I mean the flanker has instant IFF2. The radar modeling in FC3 is, it's like instantaneous 6 to 8 bar scans. You don't have to wait for the whole like bars like you do in the full five fighters. So if you take that with the F-15's vertical scan, it's unbelievable, like overpowered. I mean, I can just turn it on somebody in an F-15, see their launch, vertical scan, lock them up, and shoot back. I don't have to worry about it not locking them. I don't have to worry about, you know, going through a bar scan or it's azimuth, or it's instantaneous, and it's oh, did I say ban the F-16?
No, 15 is.
Yeah, the F-15 I think needs to go. Plus, its flight model can get really weird. I mean, it's most of the time it takes multiple hits to go down when you're in close engage. It's just, there's too many variables and too many problems with it. And we're talking about, or I'm thinking about unbanning the 120C because the PL-12 and the 120B is just ass right now. I mean, the R-77 is better than the 120B, minus the smoke trails and stuff. It's just, you give the F-15 in good pilots 120Cs, and it's just, I don't know. We got to draw the line somewhere, and I think it's about time that line gets drawn. And the NATO flyboys have more than enough other aircraft to be able to fly. The only reason they're flying the F-15 is because it's a meme machine and it's the best, and they want the advantage. So that's where I'm at. 27 will probably stay because, I don't know, it doesn't have as many problems. The flight model I think is better. The missiles are smoked. It's just not as bad. The data link isn't going to be a problem next year because there's probably not going to be data link. I'm going to get rid of AWACS. So, yeah. I think so. So full five fighters will have peer-to-peer, but nobody will have AWACS. At least that's my idea right now. For AWACS? In what sense? From what aircraft? Like, are you in a flanker? Are you in a flanker, or are you in a?
He is in F-16.
So, I don't know about the 16 yet because the 16 is, we don't have data link in it yet. The flanker though, the problem with it is that its data link does not respect line of sight. So I can be low in the mountains and you will still get data link coverage. No idea why, but it's becoming more and more of a problem. Fox 3 Singleton for 10 at 3,290. I don't know.
Yep,
This is just stuff I'm talking about, not necessarily that it's gonna come to pass.
Yep, he's coming out.
Fox 3 again for 4 at 360, 3,000.
3 ship coming at you,
I'll
Morita.
rejoin with you guys. I'll just come back and rejoin.
That is hot.
It's close, but around 100 clicks.
Spike 1627.
There is 4 ship coming to you, Morita. Careful.
I'm okay. I got him for like 25 miles or so. I can see him. He's still. No, I'm well in front of you. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't saw you, man. I mean, I thought that no one is coming there. By the way, sorry for blocking
I'm
your
gonna
way.
engage this 16 or whatever the hell it is.
I'm heading towards 244. On the close. He's low.
Moldar's engaging Singleton at 270 for 15 at 7,000. Coming up for 10. Passing 10 at 9,000 now. Fox 3 for 8. 270 at 9,000. Splash.
Captain, his radar off, so be careful.
You said you guys were engaging somebody at 240 down to the south?
Yep.
Alright, I'm heading down.
Flying low and his radar off now.
You guys are right over a Tfrp. Just a heads up, that lake is right next to a Tfrp. That's the Hilo Tfrp, so be watching for Mistral and Stingers.
Missile launcher defending. Turning back hot.
I've only got one Fox 3.
I can't see him on my data link.
Watch the Tfrp there, Raven.
Roger. I'm climbing. Where is he? I mean, he's heading. 199. Roger. Yeah, is he close? Doing the vertical scan over there.
Sometimes if you turn your radar off and keep them visually, you'll get them to recommit back. Because they'll think you broke off of them. You just got to make sure you keep them visual, and then right when they recommit, and they have to commit, you put another missile into them and they die. What's the bandits heading from you, Agent? I'm gonna try and cut off his egress back to NATO territory in case he commits back to.
I got him. His heading is 180, and he's flying so. I mean, he's flying very low. Yep, I can see that. Fox 1. What the fuck? He crashed?
Visual on your Fox 1. I think it missed.
I think he's behind the hills. Fox 3. Defend. I'm it. He
I
splashed.
think you killed him. You got him.
I would say ask about missiles from Malta. He flies American jet speed. He can help you out.
For the 120C, it depends on your closure rate and your altitude. To kill him virtually every time, as long as he doesn't line of sight it. If he's hot to you, like 8 miles. If he's cold to you, it depends on your altitude. If you're low, you got to be within like 3 or 4. They run out of energy really fast. The APNs on the flight models on the AMRAAM suck. So what they end up doing is they'll go pure pursuit or pure pursuit immediately off the rail and just tank all of their. That's why the R77 is so much better, because it has APN, so it'll fly in a straight line regardless of what the bandit's doing until it gets close, and then it'll pull. Better pursuit. But if you're trailing somebody, you really got to be 4 miles, maybe.
Great. Okay,
If you're high, you have. If you're high and he's high, you have a lot better range, like 10, 12.
Okay, great. So he
But low,
was turning too much, okay, and I was like a range of 5 to 4 nautical miles. I can clearly see him. I launched to AMRAAM, but I don't know how he dodged that.
he probably just line of sighted him or ran out of energy. They're not hard to serpentine a little bit. You'll run them out of energy.
Great.
Like if you watch me, that's what I'm trying to do to this F-15.
Okay. Let me.
Plus that can watch.
Fox 3 for 7. So I got it at 7.
Yeah.
He stayed hot to me. We were decently low, but since we were both hot and I'll just outrun his missiles. They won't be able to catch me. They're in the thick air. They just don't have the range with how draggy they are. And if I serpentine at all or do these like little camelbacks and go up
Yeah.
and then down,
Yeah.
you can see how fast the missiles slow down that are behind me. If you watch an F-10, they just can't keep up for how fast they run out of energy.
Great.
So you really need to be close. It's the reason that missiles used to be, we think, like, if you guys have flown for if you've flown for a while, before, like, the full five fighters, the F-18 and the F-16,
Yeah.
the reason we thought the missiles were so much better is because they were launched out of TWS. And in the F-16, you're effectively launching everything out of TWS, so they don't know that you've launched on them until they get the missile warning, but they do get the lock warning, but they don't get a launch warning until the missile goes pitbull. But in the old days, when we just had the F-15, you had TWS, so we thought the missiles performed a lot better because we were defending on them a lot later, and the missile, because we weren't defending, wasn't bleeding energy as it was encroaching on us. So it had a lot more energy that we had to deal with when it was coming in. But if you're head to head with somebody and you see a missile come off the rail, if you just start to serpentine like this, like just back and forth and put him at gimbal limit, just back and forth. As long as you're not really high, that missile, and you can watch it in, like, if you're doing instant actions or you build a training mission against the AI, you can watch it in labels, just how fast that missile runs out of energy, and it'll get to a point that it just can't turn with you. It doesn't have the energy left to be able to turn with you, and you can just stay hot. On a cold target, it's that exact reason you have to get so much closer, because your missile is so draggy that it just runs out of energy trying to run somebody down, regardless if they're a Hornet, an F-16. Sometimes you can get lucky if you're close enough and they don't have data link, and you can force them to defend. Like, they can think the missile's closer and you'll force them into a notch, and then your next missile will kill them. But a lot of times it's better if you can see them initially. What I usually do if I'm trying to run somebody down, I'll lock them up initially, I'll zoom in on them, and then turn my radar off, and then I'll just watch them visually with my eyeballs. And if I see them start to recommit, I'll lock them back up using bore sight, and then I'll put another AMRAM on them because they're committing back into me, and now their closure rate's a lot higher, and the missile's just gonna kill them if they don't pull some wizardry out of their ass. And even if they do go into a notch, now they're full defending in a notch, they can't shoot back at me, and they're just gonna get their ass kicked by another AMRAM, and I'm fully offensive, and they can't deal with me. So the key there, though, is to not allow them to get their nose back into you, because if they get their nose back into you, now it's a 50-50 fight, and you don't want 50-50. They end up in trades.
And one technical question, Mortar. As a 2K monitor or a 4K monitor is better than 1080p for spotting missile trails and...
Say that again. So what was the first resolution? 4K?
Yeah, 4K and 2K monitors.
1080p is definitely the best for spotting. What you can do to increase your spotting ability is run reshade if you're not in.
I don't run any kind of external application on DCS, and I don't able to spot missiles.
So you don't have to run reshade, but what reshade's going to give you is it's going to give you the ability to increase your sharpness, increase your color saturation, and increase your contrast. What the sharpness does, if you guys look around when you're at high altitude, you'll notice at like 20 miles or so, or even 15 miles, the ground starts to get really blurry. Kind of like just, I don't know why that's the case. But if you run something like reshade, or if you look in like your, you can even do it in your monitor settings or in your Nvidia or Radeon control panels, increase your sharpness. And a lot of times what that will do is it'll get rid of a lot of the blurriness. If you guys want to try reshade, I can send you a reshade profile that I run. I run it to make the game look more realistic, but at the same time of making the game look more realistic, it greatly increases my ability to spot because of the sharpness. What ends up happening if you don't increase the sharpness is the pixel dots get really blurry at distance, and they have a tendency to blend in. And if you don't increase your saturation, those distant targets end up looking gray, and they have a better chance of blending in with white or like light blue. But if you increase your saturation, the colors get more vibrant, and those dots become black, right? And they become a lot easier to see. So the spotting, as you increase your resolution, any target at distance, whether it be a missile or an aircraft, becomes a single pixel. So the more pixels you have, as you increase your resolution, the more difficult it is going to be to spot. So I play at 4K, but I'm playing on a 65-inch TV. So my pixels, though there are more of them, are larger than somebody playing like a 4K display that's a 27-inch, right? So that's how you mitigate that. 1080p is definitely the best for spotting because the pixels are bigger, they're easier to see. Like if you look at somebody like Yaga, he plays in VR, but his pixel density he has so low that he can see the targets when they're pixels, right? Because his pixels are represented as bigger dots in his VR headset. So lower resolution is definitely better, but you also want to look at things like sharpness, contrast, and saturation.
Awesome, man. Nice teaching.
Yeah.
Because I was
Well,
very confused between resolution of monitor and these things, and I can't able to spot missile trails and all. I just rely on my RWR for missile.
yeah. Well,
Moltar, you just
a big thing.
you just
Go
share
ahead.
your profile in that
Yeah, I
your
can. If you get if you get reshade, I can help you guys set it up. The only issue with reshade is that um, it will take some frames, and you can mess with some of the filters. Like you can turn things on and off, see what works better for you. But it's like running a you're running filters on top of the game, right? It'd be like running MSAA in the game options. It's not as bad. It doesn't use as many, take as many FPS, but you're running filters on top of the normal game to make it look better. So you are going to make your GPU work harder. And if you're already strapped for frames, it can cause issues. But I'm more than happy to help anybody that wants to make DCS look better. I can send you guys some images if you want, so you can see what my DCS looks like.
sure, sure, sure.
It is remarkable, the difference. I can't go back. DCS
Fox one out.
normally without reshade just looks like butt.
Okay.
Missile launch on mid defend.
Please do share. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
After this flight, I will ping you. Just share me.
I'll just land and grab everything, and I'll send you guys in Discord.
So you're returning to base?
Yeah, I'm like 15 miles out. You guys can take another sortie while I'm grabbing stuff. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Faziani traffic, Moltar, 15 miles to the west, inbound runway 12. I think that's 12. Faziani.
I have a
Raven,
screenshot of Mortar defending from around 7 to 8 missiles, I guess. 7 to 8, 120. I was very amazed
Man,
by watching that.
you
Yep,
got
go
Raven.
ahead.
Are you flying in Satan?
No, no, no. I'm just a newbie,
Or
man.
did you just? Oh, you're new.
yeah,
Very
actually
new.
we are
I just
from
Okay.
started 3 months ago.
yeah, we both guys started 3 months ago, and I think you know about that battle access. I have heard your
Yeah.
commentary.
Yeah, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
right. And miss.
Yeah.
So nice, man. Okay, one more thing about that slave and boresight mode. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so when we turn off our radar, okay, I'm just bit
Mm-hmm.
confused. Like when we turn off our radar, enemy can't see us.
Correct. Well, they can't see us in their RWR, but you got to remember the F-18s have data link, so they're gonna
Oh,
see you.
okay, great.
It's good. Data link right now is kind of a mess. It's not. I've noticed that and I don't know if it's because of EWRs on this mission, but sorry, I was putting on my air brakes. It seems like the F-18s can see you no matter if you're illuminated by the E3 or not, and I don't know why. So that bothers me. But radar off is nice if you're like sneaking up on somebody, like behind them, and they don't know you're there.
Hmm.
Even then, if you have your radar on, if you're not fighting flankers and you're not fighting F-15s, they can't really tell how far away you are if they're in a full 5 module with their RWR. The F-15, its RWR, even though it's really similar to the F-18 and the F-16's RWR, it'll give you range distances. That's another reason why I want to get rid of it. It'll give you range distances into 1 mile, which is stupid. It shouldn't be doing
And
that.
Captain Aegis learned from him that how to uncage or cage the 9.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
So
Okay.
to uncage and cage in 9X, you need to bind your uncage button. So right now there's a bunch of buttons you need to bind for the for the F-16 because the F-16 doesn't have a lot of its shortcuts for its TMS and DMS hats.
Yeah.
Normally, like if you guys have flown the A-10, you have long and short presses on the DMS and the TMS hats, where they all do different things. Like if you long press TMS right, it does something different than short press. But if you're looking at your weapons page, like if you've brought up BVR mode or dogfight mode in the F-16, I think it's DDI 4 on the left. You see slave, right?
Yeah.
So you need to bind a button for that. You can use your mouse, but I prefer buttons on my joystick for it.
Okay.
You need to bind a button for it for whatever DDI that is. I think it's 4.
I think
And
it is.
what that does,
Yeah.
what that does is it'll allow you to change between slave and bore. So slave slaves the missile to your radar. You're slaving it to where your radar is looking. Bore means you are controlling, if you use the helmet-mounted sight, you are controlling where it looks. So if you bring up your helmet-mounted sight and it's in bore, you'll notice a diamond is now
Yeah.
moving with your helmet-mounted sight. That is where, obviously, the AIM-9 is looking, right? So then you need to bind a button called uncage. Let me see what it's actually called.
Yeah, it is called uncaged. So I've already mounted that on my stick.
The uncage switch. So the uncage switch is doing some really weird shit. If it's not working for you, try and bind it to a different button, because that button, for whatever reason, does not work for me and a couple other guys on certain buttons on my stick. It'll bind to it, but when I press it in game, it does jack. So what it'll do is it'll uncage the seeker head and it'll track the target, and you can take your head away from it. That's what it should do, and it does work. If it doesn't work for you, it's probably because the button that you have it bound to, for whatever reason, is broken. Not that it's actually broken on your stick, it's just the game doesn't recognize it for some reason. I don't know why.
So one thing, when we are in slave mode, okay, we
Uh-huh.
can't lock enemies using our helmet mount, right?
Well, you can, but it's going to lock them using radar.
Okay. And in both side, we can lock him using our
So,
helmet mount. So wherever we are looking, it will chase that target down, right?
so wherever you're looking, if it's in bore, you'll see a green diamond that'll move with
Yeah,
your
yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah.
It's a little bit lag. That's
Mhm.
the AIM-9 seeker head. And if you put it over somebody, you get tone, and then you hit uncage, it'll follow that target. You won't have to follow him with your head anymore. That's when you should be using uncage, right?
And that is
But
when.
slave, you're slaving the seeker heads of your missiles
Mhm.
to the radar. You're slaving them to another sensor. Bore means you're taking control of the actual seeker head on the missile itself.
So bore is basically used for close range, I think.
Yes.
And okay, and in
Yep.
bore we can fire both 9x and 120C both, right?
I don't. I don't know. I've never tried to fire a 120 out of it. I don't know how that.
Yeah, because okay,
I don't know
s-
how that would work.
okay, no issue. And okay, now one main question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was going through the manual which was in early access. Okay, so I think wait, Ravan, I think your landing gear is broken backward.
Yep, I'm repairing it.
Okay, so when I was going through the manuals, it was saying me that when we do a radar lock, okay, in BVR range,
Mm-hmm.
and if enemy is not within my HUD sight, and if I do release my 120C, will it track target or it has to be within my HUD diamond?
No, it'll attempt to track. There's been some weird shit going on with 120s lately. Um, I've been watching them in F10 map when other people shoot them, and sometimes they just disappear against high targets. I have no idea why. They'll just
Yeah,
vanish.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're blowing up in midair, they're getting hit by other missiles that I don't see, but sometimes they just disappear. To give the missile the best chance of hitting the target, you want to try and lead it just a little bit. I mean, you want to give the missile as much chance to track the target off the rails. Because
Okay.
you got to remember, it's the missile has to be able to slew its seeker head to the target. If it doesn't, it's going to go dead off the rail. So if it's pitbull and they're in close, so that's stuff that you got to remember. Um, but the 120s do some weird shit off the rails, especially in close. Sometimes they'll like take off and go almost straight up and then come back down, and there's
Yeah,
some
that's exactly what happened last
stuff.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff that happens to him. So you're not alone
One
in that
thing I
regard.
got to, and yeah, that you were saying, because what I was doing the wrong, like once I was having my target in between 20 nauticals or 18 nauticals, I fired a 120C and then I straight away I turned. So most of the time it doesn't hit. So that's why I was confused that why it is not tracking the target.
Okay, so those two images I just sent you are with
Yeah.
my reshade profile.
Okay.
I'll send you another one on the ground where you can see the difference that it makes with.
Yeah.
So that one I just sent you is with reshade off. That is default DCS.
Okay.
This is with it on.
Oh, there is a big difference. And the last one is reshade on.
Yes.
Motor, can you forward me the image, please? I just sent you a friend request.
Great, man.
So that's reshade off, Raven. That's normal DCS.
Yep.
And this is reshade on.
Great. So,
It's
so
more sharp and clear. Saturated one.
yeah, man. Why we are not using this? Seriously.
Because we are done.
Okay, so let me
Yeah, yeah.
so in order to get this for you guys to work, I'm gonna add you guys both to
Vezani is not repairing my crash. Oh my god, who's this guy is?
what GPUs do you guys have?
I have entry level RX 580 for.
But you're playing at 1080, right?
No, I'm playing at RX 580 and Aegis has having 2080 Ti Super. Aegis.
Okay, so here's the reshade link for what you need to download. Just hit download, download it. I can help you guys set it up when
Reshade.
you're gonna have to close down the game though.
Oh, I can do that. Better to. Man,
And then
you have.
I gotta send you a
Okay. So, download.
Okay, I downloaded the reset shit setup. You have to install it.
Okay, so when you install it, it's gonna bring up a little dialog box. It's gonna ask you to find your where you want it installed. You want to navigate to your DCS World bin directory. Um, so
Yeah.
you're gonna click in that box. It's gonna bring up a file explorer, and you're gonna want to navigate to the
DCS.
bin directory in your DCS World install.
Yep.
and then you're going to double click on DCS.exe or the DCS executable.
Okay, DCS, where are you?
Okay, I am in the bin. Or now where which
You need to
directory?
look for DCS.exe or just DCS.
Yep, I found it.
And then double click it. It'll close the file explorer.
It's asking, do you wish to download a collection of standard effects from GitHub?
It's asking if what?
Uh, it's asking that, do you wish to download a collection of standard effects from
Yes.
github.com?
You want to download all of them.
Okay. And one thing, it is asking for select the rendering API the game uses.
You want DirectX 11.
DirectX 11.
It should be the middle option.
Yeah.
And then you don't need to edit anything once it's done. Just close it.
Great. So
There is an
succeeded.
option of edit reshared settings.
Nope. Just
Okay,
close it.
just close. Okay, closing the dialog box. Now,
Okay, so I put another file
zip file.
in the conversation in Discord. You need to download that. There's two files in it. One's a folder, and one is a profile.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have downloaded that.
Okay, there is a Merlin reshared. It's a profile,
Okay,
and there is a folder.
so the folder textures and shaders or reshade dash shaders or something like.
Yeah.
Okay, that is going to go in your bin folder. Just take both of those files, so the folder and the Merlin reshade or the reshade Merlin profile, and just put them in the bin directory in DCS. It's going to ask, do you want to overwrite stuff or combine stuff?
Yeah.
Just hit yes. And the reason you need this is because it's my profile that I run, and two, I use some third-party filters that don't come with the default reshade.
I done that. Now it's done all. I mean, it's all.
Okay, so it asks you to overwrite stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
did
I
that.
did that. Replace the file in
Okay, and
folder.
you put the profile in there. Okay, that's it. So you guys should be able to start DCS. When you start it, if reshade is running, you're going to see a gray line run across the top of your monitor. And it's going to tell you some hotkeys in there. I think your default hotkey is the home button. And that will bring up the reshade box, like the reshade command box.
Should we configure it on offline mode, right?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it is coming. Reset is now successfully installed. Press home to start the tutorials.
Yep. So just go through the tutorial because it'll tell you some useful information on how to interact with reshade, like how everything works, all that stuff. It won't take very long.
Yep, it's coming.
Let me know when you're done with the tutorial.
The first tutorial is about default presets, and it says this is the preset selection. All changes will be saved to the selection file. Click on the plus button to name and add a new one. And make sure you always have a preset selected here before starting to tweak any values later, or else your changes won't be.
So to select the profile, just click in the drop down box at the top where it says default.
Yeah.
And then find the Merlin underscore reshade.ini and click on that, and it'll load my profile. that I run, and it'll automatically enable a bunch of filters.
Okay, I selected Merlin reshade, and then I have to click on the plus.
Nope, you don't have to click the plus. You just select the
Merlin.
Merlin, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's all you
man.
have to do.
It's changed.
So then it'll load everything. So the next most important thing is in the bottom right corner.
Yeah.
You're gonna have hit performance mode.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a checkbox in the bottom right corner. Hit
Yeah.
performance mode, so that box is checked.
Okay.
And then the next most important thing is at the top where you have your different menus that you can select. You have home, settings, statistics. Go to settings.
Mm-hmm.
And then for overlay, and then the effect toggle key, both of those, you need to set keys. Mine are set to, my overlay key is shift plus F2, and then my effect toggle key is shift plus F3 because I'm never going to hit those. So the overlay is what's going to bring up this menu that you interact with reshade in. The effect toggle is going to turn reshade on and off, and you can hit that. So just hit the effect toggle, and you can see it, what it looks like, and you can really discern what reshade is changing on the fly.
The problem is that I can't find the max performance bottom right.
It is very down, very down. If you see,
it's in the very bottom right corner of your reshade menu.
I'm on
the
home.
Yeah, on home. Okay, on home. There is a reload button at very last. Next to it, there is a performance mode checkbox. Can you see reload button?
Yep, I can see.
Can you scroll it down?
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, do it. No, no, skip the tutorial. Like, continue the tutorial. Then you will see. Finish, finish. Now, this reload button next to it. Performance mode. Very bottom.
This one?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Get back to that Discord. Did it work?
Pages?
Yes, yes, yes.
ब्लू में गूज वही है क्या जिसने तेरे को मारा था?
Ah.
मैप देखो, इंडिया और पाकिस्तान का जोड़ के रखा
Eh?
या
Okay. Man, क्या बताया यार बंदे ने.
अरे बहुत नॉलेजेबल बंदा है ये, पता है. एंड मेरी बात हुई है इससे पहले भी. मैं भी कॉकसस में घुस गया था.
क्या क्या?
मैं भी गूज के साथ घुस गया था. वो असल में मैं वहाँ कह रहा हूँ कि इससे मेरी पहले भी बात हुई है, बताया इसने बहुत अच्छे. मोल्टर अच्छा बंदा है वैसे, मतलब
Very nice यार.
पता नहीं
मेरी इस लेवल का नॉलेज
I
किया
wasn't
ना.
in here.
uh,
I've been talking to myself.
Oh.
yeah, we said that. Come to the Discord back.
Thanks,
Okay,
Mota,
so
for all the.
well, so the things that you guys want to pay attention to is go to settings, and then towards the bottom, you're going to see checkboxes for show FPS and show frame time. Turn those on and just make sure that you're at a comfortable FPS and frame time level. And I suggest, if you're not, that you start turning off the sharpening filters, which are going to be your clarity, deblur, film sharpen, and unsharp mask. Those are the ones that are increasing your clarity. So they're increasing sharpness, they're getting rid of blurriness, all that stuff. The other ones are colors, and that's what's making the game look more realistic.
You
And
have to
lighting
also
and
check
everything
the.
brings in a
You
lot
have
more
to also
yellow
check.
and brown instead of the overall overzealous amounts of blue that default DCS has. But just start turning filters on and off and see what you like. And feel free to turn any of the other filters on and off and see what you like. Just know that any filter has some sort of FPS hit. It's going to impact your FPS in some way. You just may not notice it if you have an overhead, meaning if you have above whatever your VSync or whatever your monitor's refresh rate is.
Okay.
So you have to also check the show frame time and all.
Yeah, so FPS and frame time both are important. Do you guys know the difference between frame
Yeah.
times and
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason to have both of them is because sometimes you can have a great FPS, but your frame time is absolute. So it's really
I have
important to have
5
be
ms
consistent in both. 5 milliseconds is good.
because I have a 5 ms monitor. That's why I'm getting.
Well, your frame time can be above that. You just want to make sure you just want to watch your frame time and make sure it's not jumping up. Usually, when you have good frame rate and then you have a stutter that's caused by a shitty frame time where your GPU's video buffer gets fucked somehow and it causes a stutter. If you're getting constant stutters, that's because your frame time's garbage and it's not consistent.
Yeah.
But there you go, guys. That should
Thank
help
you,
you out
man.
with missile spotting.
So
You
you're
guys have any
flying?
other questions about reshape?
No, no.
Huh?
One more thing, Molter.
Uh-huh.
What should I care about? Just you were telling about if my FPS is stuttering too much, then what should I do?
If your FPS drop too much,
Yep.
the ones you want to start turning off are you're just going to have to start unchecking and checking boxes and see what you can live with now and what you can't. Like what makes the game look so good that you have to keep it on and what makes it, you can live with turning it off.
And
The ones that are going to be the
can I
ones that are
tune
going to
up
be the most
the? Okay,
sorry,
go
what?
ahead. Go ahead.
The ones that are going to be the most impactful are your like sharpness and clarity filters. So like unsharp mask, um, filmic sharpen, deblur, and clarity are all the ones that are really heavily going to impact your FPS. Maybe even
Okay, so
diffuse glow.
which
But you're just gonna have to mess with it and see what you like. That's why you need to turn on the FPS and frame time counters, is because when you're turning the filters on and off, you're gonna see your FPS and your frame times move, and you're just gonna want to watch it and see what you like. You're gonna have to mess with it flying and see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and just go from there. I spend a lot of time in like F-18 instant action because there's a lot of trees, and I stare down at the trees while I'm flying and just turn things on and off to see what works for me. Just remember that your FPS that you get in single player isn't necessarily what you're going to get in multiplayer, but it gives a pretty good indication of what's acceptable.
Yeah.
so the this configuration file Merlin reshape is for which GPU? I mean, which GPU you
Sorry, I'm
Molter?
not understanding. I'm not understanding.
What
Which
chip?
GPU you are
What?
using? I
I'm
mean,
using a 2080 Ti.
okay, then the
Okay.
Merlin reshape is for that graphic card, I think.
Well,
I
not
mean,
necessarily. Remember, I'm playing at 4K, and I have Like my view distance is set to extreme, and I have a bunch of stuff really jacked up because I'm running on a 2080 Ti. It's also, I also don't play with shadows. So if you're running shadows, I play with cockpit shadows, but my terrain shadows, I just have them turned off because they demolish your FPS using reshade. And honestly, reshade looks good enough without shadows that I don't even worry about it.
And how much FPS you get?
I am V-synced at 60.
Oh, then yeah, it is working fine for me.
Yeah, I'm at 4K, so um, I'm also doing some export monitors and stuff that are killing my frame rate. So you guys will probably be fine. The other thing you can do, Raven, is if you have a bunch of extra stuff turned on in your actual DCS settings, like in your graphical settings in the game, turn some of that
No,
down. Like turn the amount of trees that you have visible. If you have that all the way up, turn it down maybe a little bit. Turn your shadows down. If you're running
I have
MSAA,
everything off. I have everything off.
okay, just mess with it. It's gonna take some
Right.
messing with to see what you like. Even if you're only able to run one filter, one of these sharpen or clarity effects, it's going to greatly increase your spotting.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, but no
Okay, I'm
problem.
going to tune up. I will fly later after tuning.
Okay, Ravan. So you, what are you there? You will fly?
Yeah, I'll fly another one.
Okay, great. I think tomorrow, meanwhile, like today, we are getting very big update on F-16.
I hope so. We're going to have to see. There's been some talk from Big Nui that we may not get it.
Okay.
It may be delayed.
Oh,
Which I guess is fine, but
yeah. Better not to put bad things there. Rather complete module. Okay, so in TWS, basically, we can lock multiple targets, or we can see multiple targets. Like how TWS actually
so
work.
how it'll work is TWS in the real jet sucks. It's
Okay.
not like what it is in the F-15. I mean, it's good, but it's not like what it is in the F-15. That's another reason that I'm debating on banning the F-15. TWS track while scan means that you're going to be able to track multiple targets while also scanning. So I think in the F-16 it's like 2. But what you have to remember is that in the F-16, when you have somebody STT,
Yeah.
all of your radar energy is going to one target. It is not looking at anybody else. It is looking at one thing, and that's why it updates so smoothly. In the
Yeah.
F-16, if you have somebody locked in SAM mode allows you to track somebody while also scanning a very narrow azimuth. It's like 20 degrees, right? But remember, in SAM mode, if you've used it, it's very jittery, right? It's not nearly as smooth as STT is. And the reason that is because it's alternating scans. So one is scanning the target, one is scanning the rest of the area. One is scanning the target, one is scanning the rest of the area. And when it does that, you're going to get a delay between updates on your HUD and on the radar picture. And TWS is going to be the same thing. So the reason that I say it sucks is because if you get into an engagement and you are maneuvering, or the enemy is maneuvering, if he maneuvers in such a way that his timeout is outside of where your radar thinks he's going to be on the next scan, after it's scanned what's behind him, you're going to lose him. Like you're going to lose lock on him. That's why STT is preferred, because you're putting all of your radar energy into one target. So you get it's much harder to defeat an STT lock. Whereas TWS, it's much easier to break because you have much less radar energy being focused on a single point. So
Exactly.
it's great. It's great for first shots, and like head-on engagements or something like that, or tail engagements where the guy's not moving. But if he's maneuvering, you really probably want to think about switching to STT because you're focusing all of your radar energy on a single point or a single target track, which is what STT is designed to do.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm assuming is what we're going to get in STT and the Viper and the Hornet, is a much more realistic style TWS than the garbage that we get with the F-15 and its ability to just instantly lock somebody in TWS and then never lose them because it updates immediately because it's... Don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to it. It's just not going to be this end-all be-all that people think.
No, man, you're saying very right points because it makes now thing very clear. Because in when I was in SAM mode, basically I was using that thing to like overcome like TWs kind of thing. So what happens is
Well,
it is a
SAM mode should work like TWS. I think SAM mode should actually work a bit better than TWS because it's not scanning as big of an area. It's you're looking at a target and you're looking behind the target like 20 degrees azimuth. The problem that we have right now in the sim with SAM mode is that SAM mode is not, from what I understand from the BMS boys that I fly with, is that SAM mode should not give a lock warning. But right now, it does.
yeah, exactly. You're saying right because even in I think Matt told me that, and I saw Grim Reaper video. He told me that in SAM mode enemy won't get a lock, but they are getting a lock. And the one thing which I'm facing right now is like as you said, if I'm tracking someone in SAM mode, but suddenly what happened? That enemy is not there, and my radar is still locking blank spot.
I
So
think that's a lot of what's happening with the. It's not a single target track, so there. It happens to me too, where you're actually losing lock, but your timeout, your age out hasn't happened. Like in the Hornet, you can set age out. Like you can set your age out for. So it's the same type of thing. I just don't think we have the symbology yet that tells us that. In the Hornet, when you get an age out, you get like that. Just the corners of the box. When you actually lose the lock, you get that age out reticle. Well, in the 16, I don't think we're getting that, and they're just we're staying locked, but he's not actually locked, and he's just kind of disappearing. I think that's because of the age out timer. That's just an assumption, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And just remember, in SAM mode, it's going to be a lot easier to break that lock because it's not a single target trap.
okay, I think your speed brakes are on.
That's because they are. Thank you. The one thing in the F-16 though that's nice is that they are not getting launch warnings.
Okay.
But I don't think they're getting launch warnings in STT either, which I think is
Great.
So they're just getting the pitbull warnings. So we kind of have, SAM mode is kind of working, but it's kind of not. Hello Kitty, how are you?
Hello guys.
Hello guys.
Not gonna
Just a
lie,
quick question for you guys.
That was not the voice I was expecting from somebody named Hello.
Did I just spawn in the middle of a YouTube video or what?
No, I'm just explaining I help these guys get reshade set up, and then we were talking about radar.
Okay, you were talking about the F-16 radar, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just let me know, Captain, if you start to get FPS drops.
Yeah, I think 4, not right now. It is 60 constant.
Something that you may want to do though is turn off VSync at some point, like tomorrow or
Yeah.
this week or something, and just watch it and make sure that you're not getting too close to 60. If you're well above 60, you're never going to run into a problem. But that's going to give you a better indication of how much overhead you have before
I
you start running into a problem.
Yeah, I think
with
I
all
have
this thing.
to set the basics because everything is high, high, high. So I will
Well,
turn off.
the terrains, so all
Yeah,
the terrain and the water level and stuff, that shouldn't impact anything. That's just gonna, that is not going to increase your GPU load. That is just going to increase your GPU's memory usage. So that shouldn't impact FPS as long as you have enough available video memory. The things that are going to impact your FPS are going to be things like shadows, anti-aliasing, view distance,
yeah, that view
maybe
distance
water in
is
some
full,
aspect.
I think.
Well, is it on like high or extreme? Or
Extreme,
extra?
extreme.
So that may be something you turn down to like high.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the view distance doesn't actually affect how far you can see targets. It just affects how far you can see buildings. Which with sharpness filters and stuff, and any type of filters, the more buildings you have, the more angles and geometry the filters are being applied to, which impacts it.
I think this reshading is doing it work because I'm able to see you very clearly.
Yeah, it does help quite a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
You'll notice too that when you're high and you're looking down at somebody,
yeah.
like you're trying to see somebody in a merge or you're looking down at somebody in a furball, it's going to be a lot easier for you to see them because they're going to stand out from the trees because of the sharpness.
Okay, I think there are enemies behind, in front of us. And the IFF is still is, I think in F-16 IFF have some kind of range, I think.
So the F-16's IFF isn't finished yet. It in reality, the F-16's IFF should be scanning all the time.
Okay.
But we kind of have a simplistic IFF where you can do it this way in the F-16 too, but it is definitely limited by, and it is in the F-18 too. It's just the F-16s is, as of we have it right now, you can't just put your TDC over a target and get an IFF because we don't have data link or any of that stuff, and it works a little bit different. But just remember, you have two different modes or two different scan varieties of IFF. You have the full one, and you have.
As an F-14, I had some problems with the F-16's IFF because sometimes they don't show up as.
As bandits?
Yeah.
I haven't
Well, they
seen
don't
that.
show up as friends, so it happened to me like 2 weeks ago. I shot 3 or 4 F-16s, friendly F-16s.
Moltar, this reshade is kinda yellowish to me. I mean, everything is seems yellow and orange. Then
Try and just turn off some of the color filters and see. I've calibrated my monitor using an external calibration device. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. And
you
the
can
one
play
thing you're
with the
gonna have to get
contrast.
the one thing you're gonna have to get used to is that the human eye really likes blue. Like if you walk into an electronics store, a lot of the TVs and stuff that are on the back walls are oversaturated with blue because of we like blue. It's like we like shiny things, we like blue. And one thing that DCS was lacking was like your yellows and browns. It's oversaturated with blue. And because of that, you build this false impression of what the game or what screens should look like. Another thing you can look at is the color mode or the picture mode on your actual display, and make sure, like outside of DCS, it's not just bombarding you with blue. Just something to think about. not saying mine's perfect, because it's not. I'm just. It took me a while to get past that, because we like
My
blue, man.
monitor brightness is at full. Should I decrease?
It's at what?
It's at blue light is off. My monitor settings are blue light is off. Brightness is 100. Contrast is 50.
But is there like
Focus
a
is
picture mode where it'll say like gamer or vivid or movie mode or?
yeah. I set it up on graphics mode.
Oh, you can try and cycle through them and see if it does anything. Like maybe there's a mode that you like more. I don't know. All of my stuff with my monitors and things, it took a lot of messing with. I didn't get, you know, these settings and stuff for my display, and you got to remember that these settings are for my display. I didn't get all this stuff overnight. It's very much for my displays, and it took a lot of messing around with. I've got a singleton on the nose, 200 passing 40
Copy.
at 20,000 now. He's thinking about recommitting into us. He's over top of that Tfrp. There's another guy. New contact now, 270 passing 20 at 9,000.
270. Copy.
He's cold to us though. And then he's got two trailers passing 40. Left contact's at 20,000, right contact's at 6,000. On gate.
I'm tracking 270.
270 looks like he's head-to-head with a friendly,
Yeah.
judging by F10.
Malta, are you doing the CGI or are you flying?
I'm flying. I'm just using my radar and our F10 map to see where our friendlies are and kind of guessing where my enemy contacts are in reference to F10 and trying to make myself a pseudo-duddle.
He's going down.
I think our friendly's dead.
Yeah.
Primary threat contact is 270 coming up for 15.
And Fox 1.
Fox 3, homie. We don't have Fox 1s.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's cold. I've got 15 nails coming from 2-3. I'm off on the 15.
I'm on to bandit at 2-0.
Okay, and Fox 1. Yeah.
And Fox 3 on that bandit.
F-15 at 220 passing 20 at 18,000. If your man's outrunning your missiles there,
Fox
Captain, just try and get closer.
Yeah, I'm
F-15's passing 15,000, or 15 miles, coming up for 10 at 16,000, 240. Fox 3 for 8. Moltar's going cold.
Okay, it's behind the mountains and Fox 3. I think this is
Splash.
fourth. Okay. And Fox 3, this time I think I will get him. Man, how?
Fox 3 for 5.
Fox 3, this was my last. I don't know. And
Splash. Trash.
oh,
You got him!
yeah, finally. This was.
What's RTB and rearm?
Yeah.
I got you visual.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
rejoin with you.
This time actually I was having eyes on him. So yeah, you kill.
It's a lot easier to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
F-15 coming hot to Moltar at 32 nautical miles, 265.
I'm gonna
Altitude
clear
40,000.
R6, Captain.
Sorry.
I'm gonna clear R6. GCI says we got a F-15 coming.
40,000 feet,
Okay.
I got him.
27 nautical miles.
Got him coming
Heading
up for
to
30
65.
at 260. 38,000.
21 nautical miles now.
Just remember, Captain, this guy's got a. It's an F-15. He's got TWS, so we won't get launch warnings, and he's at 40,000 feet. So. Too late.
Ravan,
Fox
are
3,
you
I'm
doing?
off.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm coming to cover.
One
Good,
missile
good.
light from your side.
That should kill him if he's at 40,000 feet. I don't think he's gonna.
Yep, missile is tracking him. Aegis locking.
I don't have.
He was at like 35,000 feet.
I'm
But I
toddling
think
down
my
on that guy
120 is
at
gonna kill him.
30,000. I just sent a Fox 3.
Okay,
Splash.
flash one.
Oh, good kill.
Good job.
2 F-18 coming from Aegis Captains 276, 27 not.
I don't have anything to shoot on them. So
We can RTB, Captain.
yeah, I'm doing
I
that.
was just clearing us. Raven, are you GCI?
Yep.
Can you,
2
can you vector me to Captain, please?
259, 12 nautical miles. I mean 259. Sorry, I'm new to this.
Spike
Three
60s.
ship coming. 1 F-16, 2 F-18.
Captain,
Coming
I think you're
from-
going the wrong way to RTB, brother.
Yeah, I'm.
282, 27 nautical miles.
Okay.
Molt. Hello Kitty. There is 2 ships coming at you at 280 to 29 nautical
I'm
miles.
onto them. Fox 3.
What?
Close contact coming up for 20 at 9,000 hot.
His altitude is 9,000.
There's a missile coming towards you.
Jude.
Missile
And
launch,
it's
missile
passing
launch.
15 at 9,000, 280. He launched.
Yep, missile launch, missile launch.
Kitty, it's on you.
Missile launch on Kitty.
Going
Moltar
defensive.
is clear. 10 nautical miles, Moltar 290. 10,000 feet. 1 missile on you, Moltar 126.
Good kill, Kitty. I'm cold.
Thanks.
3 missiles on you.
Oh, this Phoenix.
Crank right, crank right. Hello Kitty.
That's why I switched to red team. I don't have to fear of Phoenix.
How
Motor
close are
tracking
they from me?
active. Should be a no problem.
Missiles are still tracking you. Another launch at a friendly Magic Spear 120C, and he fired R-77. Missile launch, Hello Kitty, crank right, stick to Malta. 231. Heading correction, 190. Missile launch 120C, crank right, Hello Kitty.
I'm in the mountains.
Yep,
I got closest contact coming up for 10 at 7,000 hot.
294, 10 nautical miles, F-18 type. He is 5,000 feet. One more F-16 beside him at 289, 12 nautical miles. Contact, F-18.
Fox 3 for 6 at 260, 4,000.
Hello Kitty, turn back hot on 263.
Splash.
Turning back out.
Good kill, Malta.
Back in.
282, 10 nautical miles, type F-16. Single group.
I need to learn this.
He is,
Every
tu-
missile
he
should
is, tu-
come.
he is turning cold, 281, 30 nautical 12 nautical miles. Hello Kitty, turn back to 302, 22 nautical miles, F-16 type.
Come again, come again.
304, 19 nautical miles. Hello Kitty,
304, copy.
altitude 16,000 feet. Ultar, F-16 is cold, is 11 nautical miles to it. He is flying at 4,000 feet, Multar. Two ship coming, one AM-7MH launch on one friendly. 11 nautical mile, 295, F-16, hello.
Fox 3 on that one, going cold.
One missile launch from F-16, turn cold. Okay. What should I call you, man?
Hello Kitty.
Okay,
Hello Kitty.
okay, Multar, you are cold. One F-18 is coming to get you.
Kitty, I'm going to drag to you. I've got a bandit
Splashed one.
behind me that I'm dragging
Hello,
towards
Kitty.
you.
I'm defensive. I'm
Nothing on you, man. Turn cold, turn hot.
turning hot. I only have sparrows left.
I'm going to kill this guy.
You can be honest, 6, hello Kitty. Missile launch on you, Walter. AM-126.
Give you a bearing, please.
Having 255, 17 nautical miles, flying at 6,000 feet. Missile defeated, Walter. 6 nautical miles, 323. Missile out, AM-9X, flare. AM-9X. Your missile got defeated, AM-9X, flare. Missile out, one more, AM-7MH. AM-7MH.
And everyone is chasing Moltar or what?
No, one guy is chasing him and he's firing too much missile.
Okay.
Hello Kitty, bearing 10 nautical miles, 210. F9, F-18, sorry, the type. AM-120C on Molta.
Okay, I'm on him.
Come on, get in fast, Molta. Okay, Molta is done.
I'm too
Yeah,
far
they
to
got me.
shoot.
I can't
I
hold
only
on
got
to one.
sparrows. I'm shooting a posturing shot.
8 nautical miles, 199. Yep, I can see. Missile out.
Break. He shot.
I don't know how he dodged my M9X.
I lost him.
Heading correction 159. 5 nautical miles only. It's a close range.
Moltar, man, your score
105.
is
105. 8303. Okay, he's down. 120.
Taxi.
Going back home, I'm out of missiles.
Yeah, but
yep.
there's F-16 roaming around you. But I think J11 can track him. He has a data link. Even AC-27 is approaching. And now Moltar, I can see the contrails and missile smokes clearly.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
It's a bit yellowish, but it's fine. Hello Kitty, just RTB, where are you going?
Can you give me a bearing to home, please?
Where you took off from?
Vaziani.
Heading is I think 110.
Roger that,
Head,
110.
head to 077, 81 nautical. 077, 81 nautical miles. Hello Kitty from your corporate
Roger that,
traffic.
077.
Are you airborne? Walter?
I'm not airborne, no. I'm doing something for my squad real quick.
And sorry for my English, I can be a bit
No, you're doing great, man.
wrong at some.
You're doing great. No need to apologize.
Not
I'm the
like
dumb American. I only speak one language. You guys are multilingual. I don't know what you guys are apologizing for. I'm just the dumbass over here.
No, man.
it's a universal language.
What I love about this DCS community that everyone is very helpful. Seriously, the first
Yeah,
time,
everyone is mature first of all.
I think the biggest reason for that is most of the people are adults and they're not little
Yeah,
yeah,
fucking
that's right.
twats.
Because I used to play CS:GO. It's a FPS game, Counter Strike Global Offensive, and people are so toxic there. And their age groups are like 14 years, 16 years old, and they just abuse the shit out of me.
so Molter, how come you got an interest in DCS? Like something related to Air Force?
Originally, why did I move or why did I come to DCS? It was because I came from Arma 3 and I really only flew things in Arma 3 and Arma 3's flight models on everything are but I didn't want to do it anymore. And I always had an interest in aviation, especially military aviation. I had a scholarship to the Air Force Academy, but instead of going there, I followed a girl, which was stupid. I will forever hate myself for doing that, but yeah,
Bolter, are you
DCS just
streaming right now?
no, I'm not. I don't stream really by myself anymore.
No,
I
I
really
follow
don't.
on your Twitch, but I don't got notification.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I only got 1,000 pounds.
Hello Kitty, can you send them
Hello,
a
Kitty.
message?
You'll make it. 1,000 pounds, you're fine. Just climb to above 30,000 feet, and if you run out of fuel, you're gonna be able to just glide.
I'm climbing slowly, but
Okay, our Xerox is in F-14 and he is launching Phoenix at a helicopter mission. What a waste of missile.
the helicopters are very dangerous in this area.
Can you guys send to coalition group a message that I am GTAing so they can join the Discord and I can get, because there is so much missile there.
I think people in Brawling are complaining about this GC, I think.
So that,
In a spectator mode.
yeah, they are also GCAing, I know. Because I can see there are three ships coming to get a one guy only, and he's very far from them. But still, they are chasing.
Again?
You fired a AM9M?
Yeah, I wanted to get rid of the weight.
Just bring the weapons to home, man. Why waste the money?
Be right back. My wife's calling.
Heading correction 080. Hello Kitty.
Yeah, I got it on taken.
31 nautical miles left.
I should make it, I hope.
You don't have fuel?
6,600. 600.
Yeah, you're high also. Then you can make it. Just go 80% throttle.
I'm at something like 50% thrust.
Yep, 80% RPM, sorry. My mistake.
I'll be landing at the airfield that's next to Tbilisi.
Viziani?
Yep, that's a
Not
Vezani.
not that one, the other one.
Sogan lug.
Slogan like, okay, Moltar remembers the map.
We are very newbies. We are from flying
Yeah,
from last 3 months.
Vertical Charlie, Moltar.
Yeah,
Where are
I
you
know
guys
Vertical
from?
Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just asking me to fly from Testland, see north of the, I mean, some airstrip, kind of that. And he was locating me a FARP at the location to hit it from Su-25T. So I was like, oh my god, where I have to find it. And he was naming some location like, I mean, he was saying many things at one time, and I got so confused, man. He is playing
Yeah.
from around 4 to 5 years, and I'm just three
Yeah.
months old.
No, more than that, I think. He's playing from,
Vertical Charlie's been around for a while.
yeah,
Are you guys both from India?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Just waiting on you now, Captain.
Yeah, I'm just rearming, refueling. You guys are from?
Kansas in the United States.
Oh,
Germany.
Hello, hello, Kitty. Where are you from? Germany.
From France.
Okay, you're from France.
You don't sound very French.
Sorry about that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I just can't really hear a French accent on your English. I think that was a good.
Well, I suppose. Okay, I messed up my approach. I'm going to land in Tbilisi instead.
You can land on Veziani.
no, I think
Just do
Tbilisi.
us. No, Veziani will be good, and landing strip is clear instead of a Mirage. Okay,
You're going to
Mirage is
Viziani?
standing right. Yep. Head towards 102, and it's 2 nautical miles. You can have a visual.
My engines, in fact. I messed up.
Okay, you are heading towards Tbilisi right now.
I can see you. I think
Yeah.
you're. Are your engines dead?
Yeah, engine just died. It says
This is a
I've got
problem
300 pounds,
how-
but I don't have any.
You're very.
Bro, you are going at taxiways. Taxiways clear. You can try to land at park.
Nah,
You
No.
just
died.
that.
You died. It's
Okay,
a,
then come to Viziani.
Your crew chief is going to be very angry.
Just messed this up. I was so scared of running out of fuel that I just overshot the run.
Okay, I wonder how this training goes and people don't crash in like training. Like how they rectify their mistakes.
You mean in real life?
Yeah.
Simulator.
Okay.
And you don't take as many chances. I mean, you got to remember that, you
Yeah.
know, Joker and Bingo, we put them at like 2,000 pounds of fuel. They're going to be like half or
Yeah.
3/4 of the remaining fuel. They don't mess around.
And people actually do crash in training.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently
it
I
is.
heard that someone in F-16 crashed in Nevada, NTTR region, like 1 or 2 months ago.
Shit happens.
There was also a Belgian F-16 that crashed in France somewhere.
Yeah, in the air show, right?
No, it was ferrying, and I think he ran his engine. And you've got the infamous video of a French fighter in the Mirage coming down to land, and he forgot to pull out the wig. The
Oh man. Did he eject?
No, he just
He did
realized
that
when
belly
he hit the
landing.
wig.
I think he did the belly landing.
Yeah, he did the belly land. After that, the plane was fine. Everything was fine, but you can hear him curse like, "Oh fuck, I forgot the gear."
Oh man. I wonder what if some pilot do mistake and he eject. What he will be facing after that.
His career options are going down. Maybe. Oh my god, why this sugar is so toxic?
Sugar?
Yeah, he's saying something like that. Get out
Yeah,
your dog and all.
I have faced there is a one guy I'm trying to find him. Please GCI me on that Goose 11 if he is there.
Roger. Landing goes.
I will be
There is
happy to.
a F5E landed right in front on Veziani. let him taxi to.
Is it is Goose in on red side?
No, no, no. He is not in the server.
Hmm, I think so. I don't know how long this ban works, but
If you mess up too much, you get banned for like a week.
actually what he did, I don't know about you guys. You have heard of that Pakistan and Indian rivalry. So
He
what
just
he did,
shot down Captain Aegis and told him that you guys sound me Indian, and I just shot you down. That's
and he was friendly. He shot down two of us. I said, what
even the other
is it?
guy was not an Indian.
I said, man, seriously.
And he said that I am from Pakistan. That's why I need to hit you. Okay, where are you, Mulchar? I can see you with Aegis Captain. Double back to you. Bandit, 100 nautical miles, 274. Is gold. Two friendlies are engaged. These gypsy guys are engaging our oil rigs at Mount 3 F-18, going to do a air-to-ground mission, I guess.
Okay, 14 is airborne. Do you need me somewhere?
Yep, three gunships are arriving for J-11. Our friendlies just running from.
F-14, can you head towards 274?
Roger that, 274.
Two groups, type F-16 and F-18 at 90 nautical miles, 272 heading.
Roger, I see them at Angels 30.
Naman, can you give me the heading?
27.
270.
270. Copy.
They are engaging our friendlies Mirage and J-11. They are flying 11,000 feet and 3,000 feet. F-16 is flying low, F-18 is flying.
They're not on the data link, so they may be very.
Yep, one is very low. Moltar heads toward 267, 72 nautical miles, type F.
I got a contact that just popped up at 70 miles.
Moltar, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Were you listening to my calls?
I just expect there's going to be people somewhere out here at 270.
Yeah. Type F-18, 260, heading 64 nautical miles, Moltar.
There's a friendly merge with an enemy at 80 miles from me,
Yeah.
so that should be 60 miles from you.
Mirage is engaging the F-18. Mirage got the kill.
Okay, how
That's my
far
boy.
over?
Moltar 265, F-16C, 64 nautical. One F-15C Heart on Aegis Captain and F-16C, Moltar, both of you, heading 269, 62 nautical miles, flying at 7,300 feet, 7,000
Copy.
feet. Here's single group,
Yep, I have eyes on him. No, he's friendly.
F-15,
F-15 heading 269, right?
268, 59 nautical miles.
Okay, I don't have.
And for a Moltar, it is 49 nautical miles, 26.
How low he is?
He's flying at 7,400 feet.
Okay.
And there is a 3 ship coming hot on you guys. One F-18, one F-15, and one F-16.
Not able to see him on my radar.
I guess one of our Mirage saw him and he killed him. Okay, Moltar, heading 265, 50 nautical miles, F flying at 24,000 feet.
Judy.
There is also F-18 behind him. He is engaging our friendly Mirages. I guess he launches all missiles on Mirage. 264, 39 nautical miles.
264.
Okay, Moltar, one Su-33 is engaging him, but one ship is more coming in front of you, F-16C type, and he is 273, 37 nautical.
Okay, I'm getting logged.
Flying at 11,000 feet. Moltar, do you copy?
Yeah, I'm listening. Just because I don't respond doesn't mean I'm not. I don't know what you're
I
talking
thought
about.
you were. Moltar,
Singleton contact 270 passing 30 at 12,000.
Yep. That's the F-16.
Judy. and it's coming up for 20 at 265 for
Okay,
11.
it's flaring. Okay. Ravan, I'm
Aegis
engaging.
Captain.
Yeah.
Aegis Captain, I think Delta is going to have him. You have new contact at 244, 33 nautical miles, F-18 type,
244.
flying at 5,000 feet.
244. Copy. Got him.
Heading direction 246, 28 nautical miles, type F, flying at 5,500 feet.
Magic
Copy.
Moltar declare nose.
AM9X on you, Moltar, clarify fast.
And
Missile tracking,
yeah.
missile defeated, missile
And I
defeated,
blacked out. God damn it.
missile defeated.
I'm
You're
back.
still blacked out. You are flying at 4,000 feet. Okay, you're controlling the jet.
Fox 1.
What's the angels on the next?
254.
280 Moltar, 10 nautical miles, type heading correction 285.
And Fox 1.
Flying at 7,000 feet. F6 Moltar.
I think
He's being trailed by a friendly. Where'd that F-16 go?
5 nautical miles, 010.
Altitude?
Right in front of you.
Ravan asking for
Altitude is
DCI.
5,200. No contacts for you right now. Okay, he is down. F-16 is down. New contacts, Aegis Captain.
Yep.
33 nautical miles, 277. Type F-18C, but don't go close.
Okay, I have
Just
launch on
make
me.
Moltar's got him sorted coming up for 20 at 280, 13,000.
launch on you from 305. Crank left. Crank left. Crank left. 4 120 Cs from F. Aegis.
Okay, I'm blacked
Crank
out.
left. Missile is tracking you. Moltar heading 288, 15 nautical miles. Type F-18. Altitude is 11,000.
Shooting.
You got him?
Yeah, I see him.
Yep. He's spamming 120 Cs on
Fox 3 for
Captain
9
Aegis.
at 270 for 6,000.
Missile launch on you. Moltar 120 Cs. Missile defeated. Your missile still tracking. He defeated the missile.
Ravan, is missile tracking me?
Nope.
Copy.
At Tovas 247, Aegis Captain. 12
247.
nautical miles. 4,000 feet.
247.
Two ship coming in Moltar from 27. 20 nautical miles. One F-16C and one F-18. It's total of 6.
47. Okay.
I'm saying to Moltar, your perspective is still heading 233, 7 nautical miles, F-18.
Heading
Aegis Captain.
233.
Missile
7.
launch, Moltar.
233.
Okay, it's on Mirage. He is straight in front of you, flying at 6,400. Come on, one nautical mile. You merge, missile launch from you, and your missile defeated. Missile launch on you from 301, crank left.
Splash.
Good kill.
Okie doke.
316, 3 nautical miles. He's flanking left. You can turn back and hot. No missiles
Visual.
on you.
Okay.
316 for 4 nautical miles.
He's dead.
Nope, he's not. You merge 2 nautical miles. He has eye on you. Okay, friendly launch here from blue. Nice, team kill. Team kill. Moltar, head towards 298. 6 nautical. Aegis, did
Yeah.
you got that effect?
No.
I think he crashed.
Yeah.
New targets for you. 309, 23 nautical miles. Type F-15C.
Fox 3 for 7 at 300, 3000.
Yep, missile crashing. 257, 12 nautical miles. Type F-18. Moltar. 13,000 altitude. 13,000.
Okay.
4 nautical miles. 277. Cold. Type F-16C. Flying at 2,000 feet. You are chasing him right now. All fighters are cold from you. Okay, 120 CR from you. Missile tracking. F-15C, hot on you, 251, 5 nautical miles.
His
251,
Angels.
251. Angels 5,000, 5,000 feet. Missile launch on you, 120B, crank right, crank right, crank right. Missile defeated. 2 nautical miles, 223,
Merged.
merge, merge. You are on a 6, you are on a 6.
Ravan, is there any missile launch on me?
AV-8B at your 295,
Maneuver
5
kill.
nautical
He's
miles.
dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Aegis Captain, 281, 4 nautical mile. AV-8B has 8
281?
cap is on your 6.
I just
Turn
notched a Phoenix. I don't.
That was my Phoenix. He was aiming at the F-15.
196, 196, head. Aegis Captain.
196?
Visual on Hello Kitty.
Yeah, take a
Just
U-turn.
sent another Fox 3.
Harrier is going to base, man. Go, 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 go after him.
One,
135, 6 nautical miles.
196? Copy? Roger.
128, 128, 128. He is continuously changing his heading because your perspective is changing.
Okay, got him.
116 flying at
Yeah,
6,000.
got him.
Engage him right way because he's going towards, I mean, our base.
90.
Can you gun him down? A gun kill?
Okay, I lost him.
He is flying at 4,400 feet. Is in the mountain ranges. Careful. Moltar 1357 nautical miles is okay. You launch a 120C. Cap.
Is it
Your
tracking?
missile tracking. Yep, it's tracking. And just give a call when launching because
Okay.
you can save missiles after one.
Is it tracking?
It's still tracking. Yep, tracking. He is cranking to the left. Heading correction 108.
Yeah, yeah. I'm. He's visual to me. He's flaring. Okay. Is missile tracking?
Not yet.
And okay.
Just launch a AM9X or some closer in missile.
Fox 2, Harrier 160.
I think.
Guns, guns, guns.
He's on my 6.
On him.
Yeah, but motor is on and turn back. It is
Yeah.
okay. Motor is chasing him right now.
He's dead.
He killed himself?
Yeah, no, I gunned him. He's dead.
You gunned him, man. Man.
Okay, new headings. You guys have missiles, right?
No. I am bingo at fuel, so I have to return to
RTB,
base.
RTB.
Yeah.
New target 298.
Okay. How far I am? Can you tell me?
Wait, let me vector Moltar because he's close.
Okay, okay. No issue.
What's this
I
guy's angels?
298, 18 nautical miles. He's 7,900 feet, 8,000. Type F-15C. Okay, Captain.
yeah, yeah, I have
Going back home to
Head,
reload.
you guide Malta. I'm heading back to base.
Fox 3 on F-15, cold.
head towards 077 Aegis Captain. 84 nautical miles. Clear.
Copy.
Moltar, you don't have missiles now?
Splash. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
Remington.
splash.
I'm
Yep,
RTB.
120B on you. What is Remington, by the way? I mean, we don't have missiles now.
Remington.
That's
Remington means I'm out of everything but gun.
okay.
At least that's
Is,
what I've read.
isn't that Winchester?
So, from what I've read,
You're going
I
over
think
fast.
different air forces use different things. I've always used Remington as, you know, you're out of everything but gun, and then Winchester, I'm out of everything. That's how I've always done it. That doesn't mean it's right. I just remember reading it somewhere. I don't remember where I read it.
Moltar, you're
I
going
think the difference
over
is
blue.
between air to ground versus air to air.
Yeah, that might be the case.
Moltar, you are going towards the far heading correction 083.
Thank you. Well, Captain, neither of us died. Tis a plus.
Yeah, it is plus, but I'm wasting my missiles too much.
Yeah,
I
but
get.
you'll get there. It's all about
Yeah.
just learning the effective ranges and stuff and when to shoot them and how to, it's about, like when Yaga and I used to fly all the time together,
Yeah.
it's about creating a story or a narrative with the person that you're fighting and leading them to believe that a certain part of that story is happening, that they're writing the story, but in actuality, you are writing the story and you are the one dictating the fight. So you have to make them think that they're in control, So that's why you turn the radar off and you wait and you wait and you just watch what they do, and then you get them into a position that they can't do anything.
Yeah.
And if they do something, they are forced to defend. Like with that Harrier, I put a 9X on him and he had to defend it, and then it put me in a position where I could just come in on his 6 and I think I was too far away. And
You were very
Harriers, yeah, but the Harrier's heat exhaust is very directional, and it may have just lost it. I don't know. The 9Xs and the 16 are really weird. I've seen them, merges with Hornets, and they'll just fly right by the Hornet for no reason.
Okay, in this F-16, how do you gun down? Like in that funnel, like what you have to put? Because he was in my gun range, but I'm not able to hit it with my guns.
So, realistically, you're supposed to be able to, and maybe you can already, you're supposed to be able to change the gun funnel's wing tip measurements for different measurements of the aircraft, of different known aircraft. So, like in the A-10's gun funnel, you can set the gun funnel for different wingtip widths. So you can set it to like a MiG-29 or a Su-27 or
37, I guess, for
stuff like that. So what you're supposed to do is set it to a known distance, and then you put the wingtips one on one side of the gun funnel and one on another side, and as soon as they touch on both sides, at any point in the gun funnel, that's when you pull the trigger. But really, the F-16 should have a radar-assisted gun pipper. We just don't have it yet.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, the F-16 doesn't have one yet. We just have a gun funnel.
Update, I guess.
We're old school, baby. Really, how I make it work, Captain, is I'll get close, and I'll put my gun, I'll put my nose either above or below them, and I'll just drag my nose across them, so that I'm covering their flight path with rounds that they have to fly through, and I'm going to at least get some hits. If I'm really close, I'll just use my the gun cross at the top. That's actually the bore sight for your gun, and I'll just use that, and they'll die. I'm not a BFM guru by any chance. That'd be like Crips or...
heading correction,
Stooge.
070, it is Captain. 54 nautical miles, you are on bingo fuel, so that you land immediately.
The best way to kill someone with a gun is when you see the white of their eyes.
Yes. At that point, you've pulled out your 45 from your sidearm and you've ejected your canopy. And you're just shooting
Xerox
out.
is here. Hey, Xerox, how you got banned, man? Hello, Xerox, you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it was my first team kill, and I got banned,
Yeah,
and now
the
I tried to
server.
reconnect, and I'm on the server again.
Yeah, today the server rules have been changed. Right.
Guys, what's going on with you? How you doing there now? Hey,
Hi there. Xerox,
Yeah,
just so you know, don't get 2 more team kills today, otherwise you'll get banned for
for how long?
a week.
Okay.
I'm talking from experience.
I thought you said that you killed 4 of friendlies, right?
I killed, 4 friendlies, F-16, all of them, and every time they were shooting at me or I was trying to identify them and it did not identify.
But for me, it was my first team kill on this server.
No, then it doesn't matter.
How you guys doing today?
The team kills are built on
You guys
your
have
time
a
in
good
the
one.
server.
Keep
And
it
I
back
think
to the sun.
if you have more time on the server, and you team kill somebody, you have more of them available to you until you get banned. But if it's your first one, you haven't been on the server very long, I think you're going to get banned right away.
I read somewhere that you had some points or something.
Yeah.
And then there's point decay.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I'll leave the F-16 then
Just
and fly on the
do a
F-4.
ban. Just go to a ban appeal section at the crawling site when you discard an appeal for a unban, because it was your first team kill and it was by mistake, not intentional, and they will get you unbanned soon.
No, it was my first team kill and it said I got banned, but now I'm on the server again. Like, I'm not banned.
Yeah, the bans aren't permanent.
Okay,
Yeah, you
bans.
just got kicked.
They last
He just
like a
got
day, 2 days, 3 days.
No, man. Okay, you're talking earlier. Yeah. Goose got banned for 1 week. I am very sure because today he showed up.
Guys, RTP and Briam fast. 4 ships are coming for a single guy, and he is in G11. I don't think we can. What's your call sign, Scalo? Scalo, you're airborne? Hello. Okay, he's there on the blizzard.
Faziani traffic Malta Singleton F-16, 10 miles to the west, inbound runway 12. Faziani.
Runway is clear. You can land.
That sounded so professional.
Mulder is playing for too long, man.
How long have you been playing? Moltar?
I've been around for 5 years. It's just something that my virtual squadron and I do because we feel like when we get into, environments, it helps on scenarios and stuff where there's actually an ATC. Granted, the comms I just set are for an uncontrolled airfield. Whatever. It helps people know that I'm a player.
Moika, you are landing, or I should clear Aegis Captain because he's bingo. Aegis Captain, make the approach 02002. Aegis Captain, you there?
How far away is Captain?
Yeah, I'm coming.
He's
I'm
at
coming.
4 nautical miles.
I should be able to put it down before he gets here.
Yeah, you can go.
I'm on finals right now.
Yeah, you can.
Hey, how much RAM do y'all run on y'all setup?
32.
Yeah. Previously, I was running on 16, but I was facing some lag issue.
Are you
Did-
flying?
So moving to 32 cleared that up?
Yeah. Yesterday, I think I upgraded.
Okay. What kind of GPU do you have?
2080 Ti.
Okay, so I'm debating going to
What do you have
32. I'm
right
at
now?
16 right now. I'm at 16 gigs of RAM and I have a 1070 Ti.
What resolution
You should
do you
upgrade
play at?
to.
The resolution, I'm on an ultra wide, so it's like 2540 by 1080.
Moltar's wheels down.
Aegis Captain recently upgraded his RAM from 16 GB to 32 GB, and he's getting too much FPS now. and I
Too
think
much.
you should also,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
Rice, let me go check on my son. They just got home from school, and then I'll see
Yeah.
if I.
yep. He's getting around 170 FPS on max settings.
Wow. Nice. Yeah, I'm wanting to upgrade soon, but I think that RAM would probably be the first place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, because DCS is like more RAM hungry.
I'll be right back.
Copy.
Yep.
And I can see that my RAM is already, running 81% of it all whenever DCS is.
That's correct. Because I think DCS takes 70 to 80% of RAM if you have 16 GB. The same thing was happening to Captain Aegis, and he just upgraded to 32 GB, and it was working like buttery smooth, and he's getting 170 FPS on max settings now, and that's great.
Sounds like I need to do it. I did see Newegg had 32 gigs for $100.
Yeah, and which RAM currently are you using? I mean, the frequency
It's two 8 GB chips. It's DDR4 2400.
2400.
You have
So
to upgrade that thing.
Okay,
because
is that
you know
Yeah.
what, 3200 megahertz works fine with TCS, and you can upgrade 2400 megahertz.
Yeah, the
But
32 GB, because right now my DCS is using only 20 gigs of RAM. So I think 16 GB is capping. Uh, so if you upgrade to 32 GB, it will be fine.
okay? Is there, as far as 2400, 3000, 32? Is there a difference there that like is a
Uh,
good one to go for?
yeah,
See, in
that's like a
technical
lot of difference.
terms, there is a difference in technical terms, but in my opinion, in what you will never notice a major performance upgrade in DCS. So
Okay,
2400 is fine.
Yeah, you can go with the 2400 megahertz. Just get a dual channel, and
I'll
it will work.
probably just get all new chips because the ones that my system came with, I can't find that. It's almost harder to find, you know, two 8 gig chips to add to it than it would be to just get all new chips.
Yeah, just get a two single channel chips. Okay, I mean, get one 8 GB of single channel, or you can get a 16 GB single channel chip, and it will work fine.
All right, I'm back.
Good.
You're so fast.
Had to make sure my kids weren't dead.
Uh,
Man, funny. Okay, so I'm rearming refuel.
Same here.
So Rice, you're talking about upgrading.
Yep.
yep.
Yeah,
Which CPU do you have?
I think I have a 8700.
Okay.
And you had a 1070 or a 1070 Super?
A 1070 Ti.
Okay. What? And you play at 2580 by 1080 or 2540
Yeah.
by 1080.
So my current yeah, it's 2560 by 1080 is my resolution.
And you have an SS.
What?
Do you have an SSD?
Yeah, I bought a SSD to put this on.
Okay. So what? Explain to me what issue you're running into. Like what is causing you to want to up?
Well, I am not seeing as many issues after I went and cleared out a bunch of old like multiplayer tracks, but sometimes just kind of sometimes stuttery frame rate. Sometimes I have to completely restart my computer in order for it to be playable. Otherwise, it'll stutter every 10 seconds.
How long has it been since you've reformatted? Like
Since I've
fresh
what?
install of fresh install of Windows, how long is that?
Oh, a while. I mean, I'm not getting like regular issues, but I mean, you know, I just noted that it's close to Black Friday, so there's a lot of good upgrade options right.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Hello
all
Kitty
honesty,
here. I'm all set.
Okay.
the big thing
Okay.
that
You're airborne
All
you're running
set,
into
ready
is
to take off.
it's
from
probably
there.
just multiplayer issues. In all honesty, 16 gigs is usually more than enough. I mean, what RAM do you have now? Do you know?
Kitty, I'm rearming, refueling.
What RAM do
Roger
I
that.
have? Is that
I'll
what you
just
said?
wait for you guys.
Yeah. Like, do you know the CAS latency and the
Sorry,
frequency?
you out of everybody else you're very quiet.
Do you know the CAS latency and frequency of the RAM you have, or just the weight to the RAM you have?
I could look. I mean, it's DDR4 2400, 2 sticks of 8 GB, CS17. It says on it.
Yep, it's L17 maybe.
Oh man,
Is that bad?
is this a pre-built?
Yeah, it's a pre-built.
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
It's just slow. The standard right now, so 2400 with how memory
16.
works. 2400 is like the base frequency for all memory, right? Anything
Okay.
above 2400 is overclocked. So anytime you see people with 3000 megahertz memory, 3200, 3600, 3700, 4000, that's all overclocked on base 2400 memory chips. It doesn't mean they buy it 2400. They buy it with the base frequency advertised at what they have it set to typically. But all memory is overclocked. Your memory is what the standard was several years ago. That very well, because of its slow frequency, could be causing you some issues. You could get some FPS degradation, and you could get some issues with load times. I mean, it wouldn't be bad necessarily to upgrade it. You just want to make sure that you get some RAM that's compatible with your motherboard.
Yeah, and I mean all I would need is the DDR4 RAM, right? Would the latency come into play also?
You want DDR4 RAM, but your CAS latency and the frequency are definitely going to come into play to an extent. I mean, there is diminishing returns as you go up higher. The butter zone for most people is around 3200 megahertz at CAS levels of 16 and less. Typically, you're going to be able to get something like that for, I don't know, 150 bucks.
No,
Guys,
93
just tell me when
gigs.
you take off.
Okay, because I was on Newegg the other day and I was looking at RAM and I saw some that I think it was latency was like 3000 or and it was 4 sticks of 8 gig, 32 gigabytes, and I could get it for like 108 plus tax.
Yeah, and that would be fine. You just need to make sure you look at the CAS latency and the frequency. I mean, the frequency is the 3000. The CAS latency is the individual timings. There's a bunch of them, but you're only really going to normally look at the first 4. And a lot of times when you look at the serial numbers, it'll say something like CL14, CL15, or CL16, or CL17. Those are that's the overall CAS rating for your memory that you'd be looking at. 3000 is usually, I don't know, CL16 for average of the middle of the road, and for gaming, I don't think you'd need much better than that.
Okay, on the chips it says CL17.
Hello Kitty, at which airbase you are?
That should be
It has
fine.
slogan.
I'm just waiting on the runway, ready to take off.
Because I'm all for upgrading. I just, I am
Which airbase you are?
not wanting to buy the
Viziani?
wrong type of chip.
Sogan Lug, near Tbilisi.
Okay.
He's
Here,
close
guys,
to
do
you.
you mind switching channels real quick?
I'm in the secret airbase where nobody goes.
Okay, I'm coming towards you. You guys can continue.
Just tell me when to take off and I'll take.
Okay.
So the thing about memory though is just because you buy it doesn't necessarily mean that when you plug it in you're going to get those advertised rates. So just something to be aware of, that you may have to go into your BIOS to set the memory frequency to the correct rated times.
Okay, and I'm comfortable
it's not hard
doing
to
that.
do. It's not hard to do. It's just be aware it's not necessarily plug and play. Yeah, you can plug it in and it'll work, but odds are it's probably not going to work at the advertised frequency because it's going to clock to what the chip is normally set to, which is typically 2400 megahertz. So you want to make sure that when you put new RAM in, that you're clocking it to the advertised rate. And a lot of times they have XMP profiles, which it's a profile that's on the memory that tells your motherboard what to set all the timings to. And you can go in, usually tell your motherboard, hey, I want to use XMP profile 1. And then you click that and it'll go through and set your memory to whatever it needs to be set at.
I'm up.
Okay.
So just be aware of that.
And with a game like DCS that is so RAM intensive, whenever I plug this in, it's probably not going to be like night and day, but it's going to be noticeable.
take off.
Take it off now.
You may gain like a couple frames, but the biggest thing that you're going to notice is with your load times, and maybe with your like the view distance, and it loading more things further out in the distance.
And then like overall stability, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, you can run into issues if your GPU is utilizing all of its video RAM. It'll start putting video textures into your actual memory, like into your motherboard's memory. So the more you have of that, definitely the better.
Okay.
But I don't think you're going to see like night and day difference. But for the money, it's a pretty cost-effective upgrade for $100. Nothing else in your computer really needs upgrading.
I'll be going at 270.
Copy.
Okay. Then I think that's all I need to know to pull the trigger on that.
Just listening to some Joe Schmo on the internet telling you how to spend your...
It's much easier than reading internet articles. This is the type of information I look for. Get it in real bite-sized and from bits. It's better.
My squadron looks at me as the guy that makes everybody spend money.
Okay, the bandits are far off.
Looking for
more than
someone
100.
like that.
Yeah.
By the way, where y'all at? I'm at Vaziani, about to take off.
We just all took off from around Tbilisi.
I think I see y'all on my radar.
Headed
Check off
270.
with Moitar, okay?
I'm on your right, Kitty.
I'm following up you, Kitty.
Single group 273, 96 nautical mile, Hello Kitty and Xerox, both of you.
Ravan, smoke some
Type
cigarettes.
F-14.
You're looking tired.
Yep.
What bearing, please?
273, 96 nautical miles. Single group, it's F-18 type. Altitude is 4,000 feet.
You're after
Terrain 17.
My god, who is this guy? He's in bot. Okay, he's doing ground attack. You can defend this. Scale, are you there?
I'll keep on climbing to 25.
I will maintain 15,000.
Okay, Moody Rider will caught him. I will give you the new bearings, guys, if you...
Yeah.
Where are you, first of all?
I'm just behind these two F-14s.
Roger that.
Heading to 70.
Head towards 293, 95 nautical miles, type F-18C at 5,800.
Okay, I got two
Hello,
hostile
hello,
contact.
Kitty.
270,
Yeah, hello, Kitty.
95.
285. Okay. 285, 83
Correction,
nautical
4
miles.
contact. I'll level up at 21,000.
Copy.
Hello Kitty and Xerox head towards 285, 78 nautical miles. Type
Roger,
F-16.
heading 285. Who's just behind us?
Xerox, behind you.
Xerox is behind you and Aegis Captain is at your 5 o'clock.
Okay, Captain, if you can focus on the ones that that are at 270.
Copy. 270. How far they are?
About 70 miles.
Angel?
Angels in the weed.
Copy.
Heading correction, Hello Kitty 287, 68 nautical miles with 28,000 altitude.
Ravan?
Hold a second, I've got contacts at 12 o'clock.
No contacts at 12 o'clock. It's Tfrp at 12.
Roger. Bearing
Ravan?
275.
Heading for me?
Heading for you, there is a ground attack aircraft AV-8 and it is engaged by a friendly unit. I will wait for him to...
Copy.
Okay, he's gone. Aegis Captain, head towards standby. Head towards 294, 79 nautical miles. Type F-18C, altitude 20,000 feet.
294. Angels? Coffee? Copy. Sorry.
24,000 feet.
I propose that Cat 10 takes the left one, we take the two right one.
I'm gonna drop 2 bombs on their Tfrp, and then I am going to form up with.
New contacts Xerox for you.
And
286, 56 nautical miles. Type F-16C, the one you were chasing. Okay.
Copy.
3 ship coming hard on you guys. So 3 of you have to engage 3 of.
Yeah. I am heading towards 286. Lock one target.
Heading correction 292 Captain Aegis, 41 nautical miles. Type F-16C,
Yep.
66,000.
Copy.
And Xerox and Hello Kitty, concentrate on a guy at 297, 41 nautical miles. Type F-16C, because one friendly in J11 is coming for the guy you were chasing at.
Roger.
So
Ravan, look out for the missile launch. He is flying Angel 1.
no
Very
missile
low.
launch yet.
I got a contact on my right side, Angel 30. Is that a contact or a missile?
Yep, heading at 299, 26 nautical miles. We should. The left target is splashed. There are 2 ships in front of you now. One is 299, 23 nautical miles. Lock him up. And this captain is too close from him. He is at 19 nautical miles, 294. 294 heading. Altitude 2,800 feet.
Okay.
This Moody Rider is
And
engaging them all.
fuck off.
Okay, he is engaging a helicopter of
Fox 1.
yeah, I can see the launch.
Are you sure there's something there? I don't see anything.
Yeah, I'm sure there are two ships coming. One hot, one cold. What is this? Hello Kitty. 293, 15 nautical miles.
I think he crashed
Launch,
himself.
launch, launch, launch. Launch, launch, launch. 120C, Aegis Captain Crank right.
Is he crashed?
Who got done? 120C, launch, launch, launch. Hello Kitty, crank right, crank right. Here's 6 nautical miles, 286, Foxtrot.
Okay, he launched 9x. Fuck.
Kitty, there's one close behind, below us.
Yeah, I know
Fire
that.
on it.
This moody rider is doing nothing.
I got
Man.
him.
He is on his. Yep, one down. They're still there. Hello Kitty, new heading for you. 258, 10 nautical miles. Type F, flying at 3000 feet. You can turn back in Xerox. 3000 feet from you. 283, heading 13 nautical miles. Xerox, you cold? Okay, bandit is down.
I'm turning hot again.
Hello Kitty, new heading for you. 251, 43 nautical mile. Type F-15C at 25,000 feet.
He's shooting at me.
Nope, he's engaging MiG-21 Bison. I mean, MiG-21 BIS, not Bison. Bison is more updated than.
Okay,
He
are
is
y'all still
turning
alive?
cold.
Yep.
Still alive, engaging the F-15, but he's gone cold.
Yep. He is at 253, 41 nautical miles. Is 5,000 feet.
Okay, I'm to the south of y'all, coming to the furball, I guess.
That is Xerox. Okay. Is Xerox, new heading for you, a ground task aircraft. Head, head towards 291, 53 nautical miles. There is a A10C for combat, I mean garage, sorry. Close airstrike, okay? And he's flying at 11,000 feet. Intercept him and destroy him.
I have a radar contact, 255, 40 miles.
Yep, but he can engage him. Hello Kitty.
I'm engaging, but he's notching me.
Hello Kitty, heading correction 268, 28 nautical miles. He's
Got him.
he's flying low. He's flying at 1200 feet.
Fox 3.
Crank right a little bit. Hello Kitty. He's not launching at you right now. Your missile is tracking. All is good. Missile launch on you. Two missiles launch. Two missiles launch. Crank left. Crank left. It's a 120C. Chaff, chaff, chaff. Your missile got defeated. Xerox, you have to help him.
On my way.
Bandit 252, 20 nautical miles.
I'm closing in
Flying.
on him.
Yep, he's flying at 1600 feet. He's solo. Silver Fox, are you on Discord?
Yeah, yeah. I'm closing in on this guy who's I think he's behind one of y'all.
315, 14 nautical miles, Silver Fox. Missile launch on Xerox. Crank left, crank left, crank left. Missile launch. Xerox.
He's gone cold.
Missile launch. Xerox.
Yeah, I was diving, but he was too close.
Give me a bearing to him. I'm hot.
For me it's 325.
Hello Kitty, he's at 8 nautical mile 295. Fox from Silver
He's
Fox.
gone cold. He's trying.
Chase him down, guys. You guys are 3. He's only
How
1.
high is he?
He's low. He's
He's flying at
700
2300.
meters.
For you, it's 2300 feet. He's low. He's 20. He's
Okay, he's
1700
turning
feet.
back around. He's turning back around.
He's coming hot.
Missile
301,
out on him.
900. Hello Kitty, he's just below you. Missile launch from him. Missile launch from him. Hello Kitty, missile launch on you. Chaff.
Fox 1.
Missile defeated. Turn back hot on him. Hello Kitty. 29.
Only call him Kitty. Hello Kitty is sounding good.
Oh my god, 3 guys are landing up on him.
On Hello Kitty?
No. On the guy in F-16.
There's another guy coming in from my 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Are y'all? I might need help on that.
Hello Kitty, can you engage him?
Yeah, give me a bearing. Give me a bearing.
231 73. 244 heading correction, 12 nautical miles on. Type F-16C, flying
Splashed
at
one.
2900.
Splashed one. Fuck, I'm going down.
Good kill.
Okay, Fox from you. He's turning cold. Okay, get out from there because it's Sam.
Okay, so Jester rejected, but I'm still alive.
Nice. Guy is hot on you. Type F-16C, flying at 9,000 feet. Metro 6. Missile on you, missile. Crank left, crank left.
I'm dead.
Why?
Because I got hit and the plane wasn't flying.
Okay. And the SAM launch?
I've got no idea what hit me, but something hit me.
Okay, is mortar in there?
That's it for me tonight.
Nice flying, guys.
See you guys.
See you.
See you.
Ravan there.
Yep,
Will you GCA me for half an hour?
yep, I can.
Oh, great. So, Xerox, are you coming back to base?
I'm starting on my engine right now. I'm at Viziani.
Oh, great. I'm also at Viziani. So,
Hey, just a noob question. We are not cheating, right? I mean,
using GCI?
They are also getting GCI,
okay.
but the thing is that the blue channel is empty.
So, it is like personal GCI. One of
Personal, or they are using another Discord for GCI maybe, or they are on call, interpersonal call. Okay, Silver Fox just spawned right to the right.
Silver Fox.
Yep,
Yeah.
Silver Fox was flying around 3 to 4 days ago with us.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
He's with us in the chat.
I'm here. Yep, that's me. I'm
That's
Rice
him.
Man
Oh,
in this.
oh, Rice Man. Yeah.
I need to switch it back.
Okay.
So, are we doing just all air to air?
Yep. I'm very
Yep,
bad at
we are
ground.
just. If you want to if you want to do ground attack, you can. Because we are failing every ground strike from their side. Because I just vectored our guys to hit the carrier and it and see, and the attacks are being foiled by our
Okay.
cap.
What is the nearest target we have? Like how far he is?
Cam ready to text if anyone want to join from Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm also ready.
Is that
Uh,
who's ready to taxi?
Xerox, Louisiana.
Okay, well
Cap,
I'm starting at
Captain
taxi.
Aegis, Captain
Um,
Aegis, just taxi to them. He is opposite. He is in opposite direction to you. Okay,
Okay.
just taxi with them.
Coming.
The blue caps are desperate, man. They are not taking off. They are just roaming in the SAM site.
okay, I'm loading 2 slots with some bombs just in case.
Okay.
Taxi to runway and right there for you.
That motor guy was so informative, right?
Yeah.
Hey, too much acknowledgement.
Oh, wow.
What happened?
On our taxiway, there was some crash.
Do you guys want to hand down their AVAC
I
in
think it
case?
is very far away.
Who's
I
that in the F-16 coming down the taxiway?
Yeah,
You,
it is
Captain
me.
Aegis.
Okay, cool.
I just told him to coordinate with you guys and fly to. There is no cap movement in within 140 nautical miles. So taking off scrambling in air is not worth. So wait, if any enemy cap is
Okay.
there, I will let you know. Just talk about some shits together. You know what? You guys should take bombs and bomb the FOB, which is which is near to our campsite, because there is no enemy cap movement. Do you guys want a bomb?
What? Blue Fub.
Yeah, there is a blue FOB from will mark. I mean, I will guide you to the mark.
Okay, let me change my wireless.
Silver, you coming?
Let's see.
Silver Fox, Rice Man, Silver Fox. Silver Fox, you there? I think he's not there.
Give me 1 minute, Xerox. Just changing my.
So Xerox, how was the experience with F-14?
I don't know actually. I have
Did you did
6
did
Phoenixes.
you broke your wings once?
Sorry?
Did you broke your wings off?
No, no.
I mean, any time.
Why?
I'll
If
wait for see.
I mean, in F-14, if you pull a high G maneuver, then wings goes off.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it can't be. It is no. Is there a limit of like 9G or 7G?
6G.
Only 6. Okay. Today I was flying Su-27 guns arena in just dog fights, and I was just pulling up around 9Gs on Sukhoi 27 and pulling up Cobras and all things. And F-14 and F-18 chasing
Xerox,
me. Well,
I'm ready. So can we go?
Yeah, let's go.
are you guys going to bomb?
Yeah.
No, I'm just air to air.
Okay. Take off. Our guys are intruding their SAM sites and engaging their caps, man. Oh my. One guy is flying over turbulity. Fuck him.
Okay, Ravan. Guide.
Okay, who was that? Xerox, okay. Xerox, stand by, giving you bearing. Nearest enemy cap at 265, 118 nautical miles, type
Might
F8,
I
F8.
ask you, how do you know this? I mean, are you? I don't know how this works. Are you spectating blue or?
I'm spectating both.
But isn't that kind of cheating?
No, because other guys are also doing GCI like this. You can see the spectator list.
I don't want to do this, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay. हेलो चलो बहुत देर बाद देसी भाषा बोलेंगे चलो
बता भाई कहाँ था बे, जो भी जीरोक्स था, आई डोंट वांट टू डू दिस।
बोल्टर बहनचोद तो पुराना बंदा है, उसको बहनचोद पता है क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है।
लेकिन यार भाई बंदे की नॉलेज है भाई, हम लोग कितने लकी है कि वो आ गया। ये बंदा वही है जो
नहीं,
सेटल
पहले
होस्ट
बात
करता है।
हाँ पता है मेरे को, मेरी बात हो रखी है इससे बहुत बार।
हम्म,
उस पे भी है ना, नंबर 15 पे भी आता है कभी, मतलब है एडेड 64।
मुझे बता टारगेट कहाँ है।
चलो आपको तो रोकेट कर लो।
ग्राउंड वाला पहले बताना एग्जैक्ट।
यार कहाँ हो? जेरोक्स के साथ उड़ रहे थे ना?
हाँ
सिल्वर फॉक्स भी टेक ऑफ कर चुका, बट आप कहाँ हो यार?
मैं बेस के पास से घूम रहा हूँ इधर।
तो बेस के पास ही है, मैं इधर ढूंढ रहा हूँ हावे में। बेस के पास ही है, खुद को एक्टर मैप में देखो।
एक सेकंड।
दिख गए, चढ़ो। अभी सुनो, हेड करो, हेड करो 254
254 कॉपी।
60 नॉटिकल माइल्स। अब थोड़ा कैप मूवमेंट यहाँ पे स्ट्रांग हुआ है।
254।
लेकिन वहाँ एयर एयर टारगेट्स भी हैं, क्या करना है?
ये टारगेट ही बता दे।
254 बताया था, 254 भी प्रोवाइड करोगे दिख जाएंगे। अरे बहन की सूझ।